to a brand new vlog. I have found myself thrown into the space of physical and digital products, and I'm gonna share some of my reflections about these. Physical products are interesting because they're right there. You can touch them. They're there, they're physical, there's nothing incomprehensible about them. I can hold it, touch it, twist it, wipe it, drop it, whatever. It's gonna be right there in front of my eyes. Digital products are interesting because they're a lot more intangible. They're not really there. There's a couple of lines of code somewhere that are stored in some database in the cloud, and they're not really there, but you can still interact with them. Here's my app VenturePals, for example. It's right there. I can press it, I can interact with it, but it's not there anymore. And I guess that applies to physical product too, but you get the point that I'm making. After having spent some time developing both physical and digital products now, I have had a couple of revelations and a couple of realizations. First of all, you typically rely a lot more on middle hands when it comes to production and manufacturing of real physical tangible products. For instance, now I'm gonna purchase a sample here from Alibaba. Let me show you how that's done. Alibaba works this way, that now I'm gonna be making a sample for a smaller bag, and now we need to pay $140 for this. So we go to make a payment, we use one of these cards that we have that turns out to be 1,500 Swedish crowns. This is for shipping and it's for production of it. So we get that sorted, we send the payment, and boom. So now we have made that payment and we're waiting for that to come through. But this is the thing with with physical products, sorry. What do I do now? I just wait. I gotta wait. Someone else produces it for me. Someone else ships it here. It touches so many people in the meanwhile that I don't really have anything to do with. So it's a little bit of a different setup, and it's a little bit of a longer time period, because with a digital product, all it is really is you sit down, you write some code, you launch it, and it's right there. There's no middle hands. There's nothing that you gotta wait for. But there are also some things with digital products that are much more difficult. The thing with digital products though is that they're typically, in my experience, quite a lot more harder to both make, sell, and distribute to people, because you can convince someone to buy a physical product if they can tell that this is going to add incremental or significant value to their life or make something significantly easier. However, for digital products, I typically find that one, there's so many different options out there already that are somewhat similar, and two, it's a lot more complicated to get someone to pay for something that's intangible. For instance, if you go out and you buy whatever, you buy a meal, for example, $15 doesn't feel like a lot to you. But when you're considering a new subscription, you're like, oh, $15 a month, maybe I shouldn't. So I think people value how they purchase products based on if they're physical or if they're digital in a different way, making it harder to sell digital products. However, the thing with digital products though is I can just sit down here at my home office, a couple of hours later, cue a sick montage, and just get some work done on these products. Okay, and then here is just another reason why digital products are annoying as hell. Now, I've been working on this for probably 2 hours and I still can't manage to get this task view to load correctly. So when I fetch all classes and then I double down on all the tasks which are relevant for this user, it works to check, uncheck, etc. There are no issues there. However, when I go to the middle one, it just keeps spinning and keep loading. And when I go to the end one, I get all tasks again, and I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. It's a nightmare. But don't let my biased opinion sway you. Let's actually dive deep into why there's a difference between physical and digital products. Well, aside from the obvious, I would argue that there are two main differences between physical and digital products. First of all is the number of middle hands. Take this package of oat, for example. Just imagine how many middle hands there are that go into making this. First of all, it's the company that makes that harvests the wood for the paper, that's then processed by another company, that's then shaped probably by another company, that's then printed on by another company, and that's just the packaging for this. And then once you open this up and you pour the oats out again, this food product a little bit different than a physical product, but you pour them out into your bowl. Then all of a sudden you have a whole other supply chain layer here. You have the farmer who grows the oats, you have the farmer or the chemical plant that makes the pesticides, etc. for the farmer who grows the oats. You have the people who make the machines that that use to harvest the oats. And I guess this can be applied to digital products too, but it's much more extreme when you get to a physical product. And that's pretty clear. But for me, the main difference is when it comes to selling, because I do understand that to make a database, there's stuff that goes into that as well. But to sell something that is a physical or a digital product is entirely different. To sell this, it's probably a lot of steps. There's someone who produces this, there's someone who distributes this, there's someone who ships this, there's someone who wholesales it, and then it ends up in the customer's hands. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, or 5, 6, 7 middle hands before this actually ends up in the hands of the customer. Whereas when I build an app, when I sit down and I code the app, it's just me. There's me coding the app, and there's me pressing submit, and the app is out there. There are no middle hands. Of course, there are some payment processors, some databases, etc. But there are no real middle hands in regards to processing and sending out that app to customers. There are no wholesalers, there are no distributors, there are no retailers. I just send it out and I sell it. Okay, so for demo purposes, this here is my factory floor producing physical purposes. So we have this, which is one of our resources. We have these two, which are tools, and we have me, which is manual labor. So say that one of our products that we produce looks like this. It's a little piece of paper that you have the right product on, and you have to make it like that. And as you can see, to scale this, for every product that I make, I have to write it down, I have to rip it out, or I can, if I'm not so messy, cut it out. And of course there are some things which I could do to make this more efficient. For example, I could make 3 products at a time, but I would still need to cut that out, make a product. You see, regardless of how I do it, there's still resources involved, and there's still tools involved, such as the scissors and the pen here. And then once I've made enough product, I will have run out of this paper, so I need to have a logistics company that brings me more paper so I can make more product, etc. And as you can see, as I said, there are some things you can do to scale this better, make it more at the time, maybe putting more of these papers below each other so you can cut it and make more product at the same time. But at the end of the day, every product needs this much paper, every product needs to be cut somehow, and every product needs this much ink and this much writing and my manual labor, more or less. Now, for a digital product, it looks more like this. In that same analogy then, instead of making a piece of paper that says product for each product that we want to make, we can, for example, do this. We can just write, in this case then, where our type of product is a paper with product. We can write it like such, and then we can press share, and now we can share this indefinitely with as many people as we want. Each time that we share this does not come with an additional cost, does not come with additional effort, it does not come with additional resources being used, except for, you know, very little database usage. But this scales indefinitely, whereas a physical product will not. Trust me, this is not me hating on physical products in any way whatsoever. It's just showing that the digital product will scale much more and much more easily than any physical product will. And also there are much fewer middle hands that you need to worry about and take care of than when you're launching a physical product. But do not take me wrong, launching this Polymer rope bag has been probably one of the more fun adventures or ventures that I've been on so far. It's so much fun waiting for that to get back from the factory. You're waiting for a sample, you're waiting for them to ship it, for instance, and just testing it out in real life. And also you get instant feedback with those. Like, you hand it to someone, they can touch it, they can feel it, they can tell you what they think. But like I said, it does come with some limitations in regards to scale. But I also experienced, like I said before, that selling a digital product is quite difficult. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, maybe you have some tips for me, then please leave a comment down below on what you think these should be. But also just my personal general reflections. But I won't bore you anymore with this type of physical digital product kind of talk, but I'll continue to document this in the upcoming videos. So make sure to subscribe, leave a like down below if you like these types of videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.